Hi everybody and welcome to our Boost Credit segments. My name is Liz.
My name is Demetrio.
And we're your Rent Reporters team.
Before we get into our topic today, I'm going to just give everyone a reminder about what we do. Here at Rent Reporters, we help our customers report their rental payments to help build better credit. It's something that hasn't been done in the past. We are the innovators of that service, and we do that for our customers here. And you know, as they go through our process here, we hope that their scores improve for them to get their car loan, their home loan, or a new credit card, whatever their end goal might be. But before that, that's our quick summary of our service. So Liz, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing to say is that this is your biggest monthly payment. Rent can be anywhere from $800 to even sometimes $4,000, depending on where you live. So you want all that money to be applied for credit for you. So without further ado, we're going to get into our topic today, which is My Credit Life, knowing what your credit score means. So it's really important to know, okay, I have this credit score, but what does that mean and what are my financial options? So we're going to go ahead and just get into the spectrum here that we have drawn. And the first one is bad, and it ranges from 300 to 549.
Yes, so as she just said, you can see here that the first segment here for scores is a bad credit score. 16% of Americans fall under this category, and unfortunately, that also means that 83% of Americans that fall into this category are more than likely to default on their bank loan or on their loans or credit card payments. So it does affect your score pretty significantly to not make your payments or to default on your loans, and unfortunately you would fall into this category. But I don't want our viewers to be afraid of that. If you're in that range, with time and patience, you can get your score a little higher. But I do want to just cover a few points regarding the bad credit score. Also regarding this score, if you're in this range, a lot of your employers will employers do run your credit sometimes, and they might see that you're in the bad credit score range, meaning you're unreliable and untrustworthy. So try to make sure to do whatever you can to get out of this range, and we're going to get into that in a minute. But yeah, Liz, you want to cover fair score?
Yeah, the next range would be fair score, and that's anywhere from 550 to 649. So one point I want to stress before I get into what is a fair credit score is that don't worry about the category that you're in right now. Let's say you pull your credit report and you're in a category. We're going to use this part of our Boost Credit Talks to talk about how you can move up and continue to improve your credit score. So as we get into what a fair credit score is, it's you do have a credit score, but there maybe you have some inability to correctly use your credit. Maybe you don't quite understand how to budget your money and you used too much of a credit line, or you forgot to make a couple payments on time. So that would fit you into this category of fair. And when you're within this category, you have the possibility of getting a loan. It's not going to be like, oh, you're never going to be able to have a credit card, upload a loan. But what the most important financial option that you have to realize in this range, if you do get approved, you're going to get very high interest rates. And we've talked about interest rates in the past in Boost Credit Talks. And I would love for you guys to go back and watch that video. You can see it on our YouTube channel. We save them there for you. But the main message across that high interest rates is the higher your interest rate is, the more money you're going to spend. It's even like a difference of tens and thousands of dollars. So if you can even find a way to lower that interest rate 1%, you're going to see what a big difference that makes depending on how much a product costs. So that's if you are in poor. And now Demetrio is going to get into...
Yes, so if you're under the bad category or the fair, poor category for your credit score, you do have options. There are things you can do. One of the most important things that we at Rent Reporters, we suggest our customers do is to view their credit reports and see what they found down there that either maybe they don't know about or how they can improve that score. It's all about educating yourself on what your credit score is and what you can do to help improve that score. Also, another thing you want to do is hold off on applying for new credit. Don't go applying for credit cards or loans that you know you might not get approved for. That will put a hard inquiry on your report and affect your score in a negative way. With the debt you already have, make sure that you're paying those bills on time. Make sure you're not adding more debt onto that. Having high amounts of debt on your credit cards will hurt your score as well. And the most important one, keep reducing your debt. Pay your bills on time. Make sure you pay more than you owe if you can. As long as you get that debt lower and lower, again, it's going to help your score in the long run. So next one I'm going to cover is a good credit score. 47% of Americans fall into this category. If you have a good credit score, that usually means that you're very likely to pay your bills. You're not likely to default on your loans. Credit lenders can trust you, and they know that you're going to be a good borrower. I myself actually fall into this category. I'm working towards best, but I'm on the good category right now. And again, it took me about 10 years to get there. I mean, I'm only 28, so from 18 to 28, it took me time and patience. And I want our customers to understand that if you have a bad score or a fair score, you can't just improve your score overnight. It'll take patience, it'll take time, but it is possible. And again, Rent Reporters, what we do here is we help our customers improve their score. Again, our service is actually pretty quick, but I also want our viewers to understand that on your score, on your report, you got to have everything in good shape in there. Don't be. Let me rephrase. On your credit report, I want our customers to have their accounts in good standing, in good shape. It's important to have every account in the best shape possible because everything gets factored in here when your credit score. Liz?
And then the next category is going to be best or excellent, and that's anywhere from 800 to 850. And the reason Demetra and I really wanted to break down different percentages, as you can see them right underneath, is so that you know that you're not alone in any which category. Like anything in life, there's going to be a spectrum of scores. And if you're if you fall within that poor credit score, realize you're not alone. There's many of Americans, in fact, 16% of Americans are in your same boat, or 19% of Americans are in your boat of fair, 47 and 18. So as you can see, the higher your credit score, the less amount of people are going to be in there. Like right now, 18% of Americans fall within best. This means that they've had excellent credit, they've been very responsible with their money, they've made their payments on time, and they keep low balances on their credit lines. And I would say for the most part, these are going to be older adults or maybe more credit educated people who have the opportunity to build their credit up in a way, and they understand these are the things that I need to do to make sure that I fall within this range. Like, we can never stress it enough. Paying your bills on time. I want to get to that range. And so what I'm going to have to do is make sure if I have a open credit card with some vendor, then I need to make sure I'm putting reminders on my phone. Maybe I have it on a calendar, however I want to track that I'm going to pay that bill on time. And just based off certain credit education that I have, I want to make sure, you know what, I want to keep my total utilization low. I'm not going to go out and spend all of the credit that's allowed it to me and just spend it because I'm given it. I want to use what's necessary, and like we've said in other Boost Credit Talks, is ideally that 10% range is where you want to fall. But if you use more or less, just make sure that you're paying it on time. And in fact, this is, I think, one of the main misconceptions that I had as we continue to learn more and more in these Boost Credit Talks is, even though I have a limit at, let's say I go to Nordstrom and they give me a limit of $1,000, I would first of all be in trouble. I would drop, but I would need to budget that money. One thing I can do is, let's say I go and I want to buy something that's $100, then that leaves me at 10%. I know that the likelihood of me spending $100 at Nordstrom, I'm going to probably want to spend more. I'm going to want to buy a nice shirt, maybe some shoes. But one thing that I can do is I can call Nordstrom and say, you know what, I've had my credit card with you for 5 years. I've always paid my bill on time. I've had low utilization. Can you boost my credit score? Can you improve my credit limit? By them increasing my credit limit, maybe I now have $1,500 that's allowed it to me. That means I can now put more on my credit card, and I'm still responsibly paying that on time. So there's a lot to learn within each of these, and we want to just go through how to move in from one category to the next. So we can talk about
Liz, if you don't mind. One thing I want to point out here to our viewers and our customers is that as we do these Facebook Live talks, we here at Rent Reporters are also learning better ways to improve credit. So we're not just educating you guys, we're learning ourselves too. So we're on this journey with you guys, okay? You are not alone when you're trying to improve your score. We're here to help you. Just pointing it out, call us anytime you wish, okay? Please.
And one thing that I think we forgot to talk about that we really wanted to bring up is there's two more things. There's the fact that we have this. The reason it's so hard if you fall within this bad category or this poor category, it's not necessarily bad. We want to say that it's poor and there's room for improvement. And that is that creditors are going to have a hard time trusting this credit range, and it has nothing to do with you personally. Maybe you just had bad luck and you haven't been able to you're in a bad situation right now for wherever it may be, and it's nothing to do with you personally. Maybe you are responsible, but the reason is people who have a credit range between 300 to 499, about 83% of those people default on their loans, and people within 500 to 549, 70% of those people default on their loans. So you have to understand where a creditor is coming from, where they may not want to approve you. They're going to see, okay, what is the likelihood that I'm gonna get this money back? This is why they give you such high interest rates. So one of the things that we want to keep in mind is as we go through each one of these categories, we're going to get lower and lower interest rates. You want to talk about the importance of interest rates?
Yeah, so if somebody was to get a loan under the fair category or good category, let's say it's 300 grand, you get an interest rate of 4%. Easy numbers, and you end up paying obviously a 4% interest rate. So let's say you end up paying in the span of the loan $480,000. Well, if you improve your score from a fair to a good credit score, you might get a 3% interest rate. And instead of paying $480,000, you might end up paying $420,000. That's $60,000 in savings in the span of your the mortgage loan you got or the car loan you got, whatever it is. And that's why we want to stress that it is important to go from bad, fair to good and best if possible, because interest rates are very you got to make sure you get a good interest rate when you get a loan. It's important to make sure you don't spend $80,000 more when you get a loan. You could use that money for other things. I just want to make sure we stress that. Please.
And one of the things, no matter what category that you fall into, we want to make sure that you know the importance of pulling your credit score and reading your credit report. We're actually going to have a Boost Credit talk on that soon. So if you don't know how to read your credit report, tune into that segment as well, because it's important. If you can find any inaccuracies within that, they have to legally be removed from your credit report, and that may be the difference in boosting you from one range to another. So make sure you pull your credit reports and read them. Check for any inaccuracies. And the last thing we want to talk about is within these different categories. If you're in the bad, maybe your only option is to pull a secured credit card. It's only when you get into the high end of good and anywhere in best that you are going to have the opportunity to get approved for a mortgage. So there's different opportunities within different ranges. When you're in bed, you're going to have a hard time pooling loans. Maybe in the high end of fair to the low end of good, you're going to be able to now get car loans. And the high end of good and the low end of best, or anywhere in the best category, you're going to be able to get a home loan. And the key word is with low interest rates. That's really important to stress. But if you're anywhere within that good to fair, you're going to probably have to put a higher down payment on a house, as opposed to if Demetria and I were both to get a home and we were competing for the same home or maybe just in the same block. One thing that's going to be different, if Demetria has a higher credit score than me, I may have to spend a lot more years saving up for that home than Demetria will. Or I'm going to have to save up maybe $10,000 more than he will. And what else am I going to have to do? I'm going to have to
pretty much it.
that, yeah. So he, just by having a higher credit score, he's going to have an easier time transitioning into these, getting a home or a car.
one thing you can also do when you're applying for a loan or a mortgage, you can call them and ask them to see if you can get a lower interest rate. I mean, usually lenders want to work with you because they do want to give you money so you can pay them back and pay them interest. You can ask for a lower interest rate. Don't be afraid of asking. I've done it before. They've given me the lower interest rate on loans that I've received, and I'm not afraid of asking. These banks want to work with you and they want to work for you, just like we do. Keep that in mind.
And if you have any other questions, or are there a specific, you fall within a category and you want to know what your options are, you can call into us. Even if you don't want to sign up for our service and you're just interested, we're more than happy to just chat with you over the phone and give you the best advice that we can get. By no means are we 100% credit experts, but from our experience and what we've learned, we would love to help you out.
One thing I want to point out to our viewers here is if you want to see your credit score or TransUnion or Equifax reports, creditkarma.com. I can't stress that enough. It's free. You can see your scores. You can analyze your report to see what's on it that you don't recognize. That's creditkarma.com. Remember, it's free, okay?
And the karma's with the K. Sometimes that's
True.
frequently misunderstood. And if you guys have any questions about anything that we talked about, or you want to give us a scenario, right now you can drop it down in the comments and we can take any of your questions live. But before we get into the open Q&A, you can start thinking about your questions. Is if you are right now a current Rent Reporters customer, welcome. We hope that we have helped you boost your credit score in some way, and we hope that we have helped change your life. And you can even, if you're a current Rent Reporter customer, tell us how we helped you. We'd love to hear your stories. It kind of makes us feel a little bit better, like on our day-to-day life. If we're frustrated or just overall frustrated, it's nice to just hear from a customer, this is how you've helped my life. I think that's, like, it's definitely one of the most rewarding experiences knowing that we've helped impact your life. But one thing that we offered our customers is if they tuned in to our Boost Credit Talks, you can actually get 1 month of free reporting. So here's how it works. What you're going to do is that secret phrase that we talked about is the word BOOST. B-O-O-S-T. And this is how you're going to get that 1 free month. We're going to drop a link down in our comments below after the segment is live. You're going to click on that link, and the first 20 subscribers to our service that enter in that code are going to get 1 month of free reporting. So we hope you enjoy the segment. And right now, Cynthia, are there any questions that have come in?
Not yet. I haven't seen anything come through just
Okay,
yet.
so if there's not, you can always drop them down, even if it's later within the segment. We're always going to go back and address you, or you can call our customer service line, and you can even ask for Dimitri or I specifically, or any one of our credit specialists are going to be able to help you out. And tune in, not next Friday, but the week after, where I'll be joined with Jason, and we're going to talk about life after better credit. So if you are a Rent Reporters customer, or you want to be a Rent Reporters customer, we want to talk about, now that you have this new and improved credit score, what can you do with it? So we hope to see you next week, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Well, are we still on? I want to say one more thing that Liz was, I want to feed off something Liz said. When our customers email me, or my customers email me or call me and say, Demetrio, my score improved by 30 points, 40 points, I legitimately get excited. That gives my job purpose. So please, guys, let us know. Give us some feedback. Let us know what happened when we post our trade line on your credit report. And just wanted to point that out.
And even if you're not a Rent Reporters customer and you're tuning in, we hope that we've helped you in some way. We really want to, Dimitri and I were talking about this before we went live, and that was that there's a lot of information about credit out there. It's just really hard to sometimes find and interpret what it means. It can all kind of be really complicated, so that we're hoping that we're making it easier for you to understand. If there are specific things that you want to talk about, let us know, and we'll try to incorporate it into one of our live Boost Credit Talks. So, yeah, I think that's it, right?
That's it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
We have a
One
question?
thing I do want to say is I just wanted to give a quick shout out to David. He commented he's a viewer today, and he commented here within the section saying, you know, after signing up for Rent Reporters, that his score went up 30 points. And David, we just want to say we're so excited for you. We're excited about, you know, all the financial opportunities that await you now. You have, you know, now that you have this score bump, and so, you know, please keep us updated and let us know how you're doing. And you know, we look forward to kind of continuing that journey with you. So awesome, and thank you for that feedback. And thanks again, everybody, for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks.
Take care, guys.